There's a famous saying that it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And I'm here to tell you that that is a lie, because sometimes it is about how you start. And today, the Broncos did not start well, but I'm Todd Davis, and I want to welcome you in to the Losers Lounge, brought to you by Toyota. I don't even want to say it, but we got to say it. It's a Losers Lounge brought to you by Toyota. And it is also brought to you by Bet365. You can download the Bet365 app and use code DNVR365 when you sign up. Choose your offer and find out why whatever the moment is never ordinary at Bet365. We brought along a special guest today. I guess we knew the offense was going to struggle and they needed some help. We needed somebody who could break it down for us. It's myself, Todd Davis, Knowshon Moreno, Jurrel Casey, and also my boy, Bennie Fowler, Super Bowl 50 champ Bennie Fowler. The last man to catch a pass from Payton Manning, Bennie Fowler, is in the building today.
Appreciate you guys having me, man. I wish we could have been talking about a win, but what I can say is that a number 16 caught a touchdown today, so that is a positive spot right there.
Yes, indeed. I guess we'll start with you, Bennie. Like, what are your big takeaways from this game? Like, what did you see as a receiver? What do you see from Bo? What's wrong with the offense, at least in the first half?
My biggest takeaway from the game is that, like you said at the beginning, we have to start fast. And, this isn't a team that can just come out here and go through the motions and then turn it on. This is not a team that can just flip the light switch. So what my biggest takeaway is, the receivers actually have to help out Bo more. You got to make the catches. We had a great screen called for Javonte Williams, puts one hand out. No, go catch the ball with two hands and help Bo out. He is a rookie. And the one thing that you are taught as a receiver when you are playing with a rookie quarterback is that you have to help him out. Playing with Trevor Siemian here as a young quarterback, I played with Daniel Jones in New York as a young quarterback. You have to help these guys out. They got a lot of things going. And Sean has a complicated offense where you have to be on the same page. But Cortland's got to help. He's got to be your number one receiver. You got to make those tough catches. We call it 3 dagger concepts, which is where you have the clear out and Cortland's coming across the middle. You got to make those plays. You have a big body like a Demaryius Thomas, the late, great Demaryius Thomas. You have to make those plays for a young quarterback. So my biggest takeaway is that the receivers need to step up, create separation, help Bo see the field and make a play for him.
See, hearing you talk, man, maybe that's why Trevor Siemian and Daniel Jones, their careers went downhill after you left. They're not getting the same help from those other receivers. They don't understand their responsibility as receivers.
That veteran leadership over there.
Gotta have it.
I think that's key, because watching the game also, you don't see a lot of separation from our receivers.
No.
The guys is playing, latch on type ball. And so we need that separation for Bo to get better, accurate throws. But Bo still got to get a little bit more accurate, because those tougher throws, putting it in their pocket, you might give them a better chance to throw, when they are getting on a tight coverage. But you're right. You got to get that space and get that guy a better area to hit those guys in the open field.
Absolutely. Got to make these plays.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like for me, I don't like this type of football, to be honest. I don't want the close games and we got to win in the 2-minute drill and it always comes down to the fourth quarter where there's a Hail Mary or onside kick or I don't want that. I want to be up by 20 points and let our dogs hunt on defense, and we're rushing and we're playing prevent for the last, 7 minutes of the game. I don't know if that's Sean's recipe for winning, but that would be my recipe. And I hate watching football that doesn't resemble that.
You're not out there. You and Jurrel not out there.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure our defense would love that type of offense.
1,000%.
Right? Man. But, hey, that's not what we're getting at this moment.
We weren't going to get that, though. that we've been talking about this from the beginning of the season.
But that's what being a believer is. It's faith.
I know. I love that. And that's just like you've been doing this whole dating thing for years, man. You find that one. You think it's the one. And you do it for years and years, and it just keeps on falling apart. And then you come home with your mom and dad. Mom, Dad, I think I found her. It's the one right here. And then I'm sitting there, I'm the parent, just sitting on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, what about all the other relationships you had? You know what I mean? So you can believe all you want. You know what I mean? But you got to go out there and prove it, right? And of course we all believe, but at the same time, it ain't translating on the field.
So
that's what I'm saying. You know
is
what
there
I'm saying?
something wrong that
And
we're
don't
doing
break
as
your heart,
daters?
though.
Like, is this something that we're doing wrong
You're
as
putting
daters, and we're
yourself
finding
out
the
there.
wrong?
You're
We're
putting
finding
your-
the wrong mates.
Yes, you're putting yourself out there you're putting your heart on the line too
A little too
easily.
soon, a little too soon.
Yeah,
A lot too soon.
You guys have been getting your heart broken for years and years and years, and all of a sudden you find one that might be the one, and then you just want to give your heart all to them.
Let's not forget what we learned when we were all playing is that 80% of NFL games end in either a one score.
For
so
sure,
definitely.
80% of the time it's gonna come down to the last couple possessions of the game, and we have to learn how to win these games. We have to learn how to be a winning team again, and that's going to take a little bit of time.
Definitely.
Yeah, but we knew we were going to be in these close games, and that defense had to be the ones to kind of will us to the wins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we knew at some point defense was going to have a game where they struggled, and then we needed to rely on the offense to go out there and make plays and put points on the board.
And this was supposed to be
And
that
this
game.
was the game.
This
Yep.
was the game.
This was the game where it happened, and we just weren't able to do it, and it didn't look good until to 10 minutes into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that just can't happen. But
We already knew that Patrick Surtain was really good, but now we know that he is the MVP of the team because when he
makes the
goes
whole
out,
defense.
everything is now free flowing for the other team's offense.
Definitely.
We could not get off the field on third down, but that's because now the Chargers can work on both sides of the field instead of just one.
Yeah.
So shout out to Pat Surtain. Hopefully he gets healthy soon.
And sometimes I feel like as a defense, like it takes time. Like when your star player goes out, like you kind of have to take a step back and be like, oh shoot, like
What the hell we do now?
you know, like when Payton go down, you like, oh shoot, what we about to do?
Well, exactly.
You try to figure it out, and like by the time it felt like the defense figured out, like okay, we can still play with these guys. Like you said, it's 10 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. They didn't score again, but they gotta like get their minds back ready to play football earlier than that. Did you give your biggest takeaway?
I guess for me, the takeaway would be some of these younger receivers stepping into a role and making some big plays. We're talking about Vele making a big catch, making a big play for Bo and for the team. We're talking about Franklin scoring there in the back of the end zone. That's nice to see, right? So those younger guys stepping up when their number's called and coming up with some big plays. That's the only takeaway I got, really.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, everything was it didn't look good. I can't say it did.
It didn't look
It
good.
really
Didn't feel
didn't.
good.
And I really think it was a tale of two halves. We can kind of break down the two halves. The first half was terrible. The entire offense just looked stagnant. There was multiple turnovers. I know Bo threw a pick on the
First play.
first
First
passing
pass.
play of the game.
First play.
We were run, and pass. It's a pick. I think that's setting your defense up. Even if you have a good defense, that's setting your defense up for failure and have them kind of fight from behind. And the Chargers go on to score there, and I felt like we were playing from behind the rest of the game.
Definitely. That was a big play. And it was my takeaway was the inconsistency. It goes back to not being consistent. I think our offense wasn't consistent, defense wasn't consistent, and Bo wasn't consistent. I think, we had a couple of great throws out there where it was like, okay, God should have came up with the ball. Then there was a couple of those throws where, even on the interception, just an overthrow, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was no need really for it. You throw that ball in front of him, let him get out there and catch that rock, and he might still be running 1 or 2, 3 more yards before he get tackled. But to throw that ball over his head the way he threw the ball over his head was just inconsistent reps of how he go out there. I think he get too jittery in the pocket. I think he's ready to run before he needs to run. He had a lot of times where that pocket was clean, and he's already scrambling around back there, losing vision on where his receiver's at, and now you got to run and throw a dump pass or whatnot. I think he's got to get more consistent on how he approached the opening drive and how he approached to when he's getting a little bit of frazzled a little bit here and there. He got to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I wouldn't say there wasn't open receivers. Like even when somebody's hip to hip with Cortland, if you lead him, I think you throw him open.
Yeah.
And I don't see Bo.
Can he
throwing-
trust that though? Do you think Bo has that trust in Cortland yet? This is his 6th game as a starting quarterback. Has Cortland shown enough in terms of making a tough catch where he's like, oh, like, you know what? Because we know in the NFL, this right here is open.
Right.
Yes.
In college, this is open.
Yes.
But, Bo's, he young. Do you think he's shown
Stop saying
this
he's young. First of all,
He is young.
y'all need to
He
stop
young.
saying he's young. He ain't young. He's just
A rookie.
He had no pro experience.
The man
No
damn near
pro
40.
experience.
Okay?
No pro experience.
Right.
There we go.
all right.
No pro experience. I'll say that
No
now.
more young. Okay. He ain't no Caleb Williams. He ain't no Jaden Daniels. 22 years old, 23. That boy like 25.
I
24.
wouldn't say necessarily I wouldn't say he's shown that he can make the tough catch.
Yeah.
But I don't think Bo have given them balls in areas to where they can make a tough catch. these balls are like flaring behind them. Now, acrobatic, if they can jump, twist, and do all that, he gonna have to show a lot to do that. These balls are just non-catchable balls where it's just like, I see, like, if it, like you saying, like, if that ball's here and the guy's on my shoulder and I just got to come up with that ball, I can get that. And I haven't seen that opportunity in not one of these games that I have watched yet.
Yeah.
If it's a bad, inconsistent throw, that ball is far over their heads, far left somewhere else. And when it is an accurate throw, it's there. And they come up with it.
The first dagger concept, though, was Cortland didn't make the play. It was a tight throw. It was over the middle.
That was a little bit high, though, Cole. It was like that, no? It was in there?
It was in there. And Cortland's 6'5", bro.
I don't even remember.
That's not. Come on now.
I thought it was up there.
Come on. Cortland's receiver 1. He ain't receiver 3.
No, he's definitely receiver 1.
Bo ain't throwing to me. He's throwing to Cortland. Like, bro,
I feel like it's a lack of confidence in Bo instead of in Cortland.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Bo isn't like making the throw and saying, "Hey, Cortland, go get that." His throws are inaccurate. You know what I'm saying? If he just like the one he gave Cortland in the end zone, that's a throw saying, "Hey, Cortland, go get that. I'm gonna throw it up, go get that." And I feel like even the passes across the middle, I don't feel like he's giving guys opportunity to run and catch. It's either got to be right on their body or it's an inaccurate throw.
I think I'm gonna go look at the tape. I'm gonna go look at the. I'm gonna watch the coach's copy.
Hey, if we're wrong, y'all let us know, chat. If we're wrong, let us know. If he's been catching some, hey, I don't think the ball's been accurate at all. But let us know. Let us know.
Even on the screen, we talked about the screen. That was a big play.
That a big play.
And yes,
2 yards short.
I'm with you though. Anything that touches my hands, anywhere,
you gotta catch that.
I'm catching it, right? But he running to the left and he throws it back like this.
Yeah.
So it is a tough catch. He should have caught it, but put it on the back. Just put it on him.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm always gonna lean towards
The receivers got to make
the receivers making the play, especially for the young guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if this is Bo in year 3, 4, and beyond, nah, Bo, like you got to make that play. But come on, man, I'm 6 games in. Do you remember what it was like playing as a rookie?
That was nice. No.
Yeah.
I was cooking him.
But you had some help out there.
Yeah.
You know, we got to help him. Got to help the young bull.
Yeah, you guys help us out. Hit us with some likes, man. Let us know what you guys love
But don't
when
bail
we sit here and
I
talk
don't
about
want to
the
hear the
post
bail.
game.
It sounds like you're trying to bail people right now. Don't bail.
Hey man, I played with some young guys before, and
I get it. So did I. I played with 10 Tebow, and it looked just like it out there. And that's fine because
you said it looked just like it. No. Come on now.
It does because that guy knew how to win, though. You know, what I mean, it didn't. I get it. I get the pass.
Those were really ugly games.
I know, but did the guy win? No, he did win. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I knew this.
Both 3-3, bro.
But I knew this was going to be a tough game, an ugly one, right?
He 3-3.
It no matter what, as long as you get the win at the end of the day.
Tebow won some games too. We don't need another Tebow.
No, I'm saying
hey, man,
he knew
no
how to
disrespect
win.
to him, but
he knew how to win.
It's not the same.
Let
me run through the first half so you guys can get a good understanding for how that first half really looked. First drive was 3 plays and an interception. Second drive was 3 plays and a punt. Third drive was 6 plays and a punt. Next drive was 5 plays and a fumble. Last drive was 3 plays and a punt. I think that's too many plays to say, is it just Bo? Is it just Cortland? Is it just Javonte? I feel like the offense as a whole is not playing well. The offensive line was not playing well. I feel like Bo was running for his life too many times tonight. Just as a whole, we didn't look good in that entire first half. And we got to start faster if we want to be in these games to win it. Because although the games come down to 3 or 7 points, I think if we have more momentum to start the game, it'll feel better for us trying to come back and win the game.
How do you guys just feel from a defensive perspective in terms of like the first half? How do you guys feel about that in the complimentary football?
I think defense didn't do anything in that first half today. I think they got the biggest thing you talk about when you go into the game, stop the run. And they couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop a runny nose with a paper with a freaking dry towel. I feel like it was third and 3, third and 4 a couple times, and they let these guys pick it up with no problem. Second effort runs and guys just missing tackles. I think, like I was telling you in the pregame, they do a lot of slanting across the board. And you can see that's kind of hurting them a lot in the run game. And it showed up a lot today. These guys not playing with their hands. They're playing with the shoulders. And, it's hard to come off blocks and make tackles. And they didn't do a good job today at all in the run game. Then PS2 went out. It got very exposed on the pass game. Yeah. I think they had free will at everybody. Yeah, Moss played a little bit of lockdown today. And he got mossed a little bit today.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of inconsistency on that back end of the day. Guys didn't come up the way we thought they would come up and fill inside those gaps of the voice. Guys was making some big chunk gains. I want to say they pretty much every time they touched the rock, they was picking up 5-6 yards a carry. So I think defense definitely didn't have a day.
Yeah, I feel like they weren't elite. That's the thing they have to be. If we're gonna like really compete and really be successful, the defense has to be elite. Like after the interception, they gave up 3 points. Like that's what they needed from them, and they were able to help them. After the fumble, they gave up 7 points. We probably need 3 there. Like it's tough that you're getting put in these situations as a defense, but you got to find a way to stand up and make big plays because, like we said, Bo's a rookie. Our offense is not ready. They're not clicking yet, and unfortunately, the defense has to be perfect if we're going to be in competition in these games.
Yeah. But I don't think this was a game of needing to be perfect. They just needed to make some plays. Yeah. And they didn't make not a play today.
Well, I feel like they did make plays, honestly, but then it was negated by a penalty or something like that. We had a fumble, but then there was a holding.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be.
I mean, Cortland did have a 49-yard pass negated by a penalty.
That's offense.
Same thing. Right.
Come on, defense.
Same penalty. Same penalty.
It's just same thing, concept, right? You got to get it done, dude.
Where do you guys think the pass rush was today? I mean, usually, I feel like we were getting home in the first 5 weeks of the season, getting sacks. What did you guys feel? What was up with the pass rush or the scheme today, you think?
I really got to give Justin Herbert his credit and his flowers with this one because I felt like they were getting home and they had rushers, but he was doing a great job of backpedaling and getting the ball off. Like he's throwing the ball 10, 12 yards behind the line of scrimmage and getting it and throwing it before his receivers are out of their break and they're completing the passes. So Vance Joseph was dialing up the pressure. I think they had pressure on him. I saw Nick Bonito had a sack, which is good. This is his 4th game in a row with a sack. First person to do it since Vaughn, so he's definitely playing at a high level. Yeah. But I think just overall, Justin Herbert deserves some credit from being able to get out of the pocket and kind of just throw some guys open off his back foot.
What does that feel like for defenders like you guys where you get home and you just got to tip your cap? Like, all right, he's just playing really well.
It's one of those games. You definitely frustrated, but it's like you're saying, you got to tip the hat to him because it's like, dude, this quarterback is playing his tail off. Yeah. I'm there. And it's one of those games where you want to turn around and cut your DBs out. You're like, what the heck y'all doing back there, right? Yeah. What the heck going on? But we talked about at the beginning of the game, they're going to dial it up. They're going to dial it up. And Justin Herbert can hit these zone spots, but what I say, DB's going to show up. But they didn't show up like we needed them to show up today. Right. Herbert was out there throwing off his back leg. He's diving backwards, throwing balls, and talk about accuracy.
Yeah, he was.
If he can sit back there and throw the balls accuracy like that, my guy Bo got to be able to stand up, right, stop moving around, deliver. Yeah. But to have somebody like that, quarterback can deliver balls to the receivers in tight coverage, and they was coming up with the ball. So they played their tail.
I want to keep talking about defense, and I definitely want to talk about Pat Surtain and what he would have brought to the table today and what losing him meant to this game, because I think it would be a very, very different game. But first, I got to tell you about our friends over at Toyota. Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR. They have trucks, hybrids. They have over 17 models with all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, so it's perfect for Colorado and the winter and the snow. If you still like to be outdoors, you want to get your hike on, you want to be able to pack up your truck and go to the outdoors, go camping, Toyota has definitely got you covered. They got the 2024 Tacoma and the return of the iconic 2024 Land Cruiser coming in the spring. You don't want to miss out on Toyota, and we definitely want you to go check out your Front Range Toyota stores because it's tough looking for cars. I'm looking for one for my son now, and I'm definitely hitting up the Toyota stores to make sure that he's covered. I want him in something that's safe, that's reliable, and definitely good in the snow. So visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. We have the Auto Nation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, the Corwin Toyota in Boulder, the Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson's Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson's Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL and the official vehicle of the DNVR.
UCHealth, ready, set, go. We are so excited to partner up with our friends at UCHealth. Coach Prime wants to help you and other Coloradians be your healthier selves. As the chief motivator officer of the UCHealth Ready, Set, Go challenge, the goal of the challenge is to get Colorado back to its rightful place as the healthiest state. One of his personas in this challenge is named Sleep Prime. Sleep Prime says when you get 8 hours of sleep, he's so ready. set, go. It's dreamy. Sleep is a key part of our overall health, and we need to prioritize getting 8 hours of quality sleep. A lot of things happen while you sleep, from physical well-being to neurological benefits. It's one of the main ways to get and keep yourself healthy. Hey, you need that sleep, dude. You got to get some rest. We all need it. I need my rest to be up and deal with these Broncos every day. I tell you that. So make sure we get in our rest, man. Take care of your body. And if you want to join us, please go click on the link and UCHealth, ready, set, go.
All right, let's keep talking about this defense and what Pat Surtain would have meant to this team. We know he's the best corner in the league, and then losing him early in the game, I think it really was a momentum shift for this team because he's so locked down. I think he's able to take out the best receiver, which would have been Lad McConkey today, and allow Riley Moss to be on the second best guy. And I really think with most matchups, Riley Moss is probably better than your second best receiver, so it would have been a better day for the Denver Broncos defense as a whole. How does that change the landscape of the game once you lose your best player like that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it means a lot, especially a player of his caliber, and where opposing offenses, they come in to a game like this and they're saying, okay, half our plays that we usually run, we can't run, especially over to that side, right? So it kind of limits that offense coming in, and it helps everyone else out, right? So yeah, definitely losing a guy of that caliber on the defensive side, it hurts you. I mean, it really is almost like losing a quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So having a guy leave a game that early, especially that early in the game, and it's tough, man. I thought, some of the guys stepped up, right? You knew that the corner, wasn't it? McMillan, sorry. You knew McMillan was going to get targeted. You know what I mean? A guy like that goes out right away. You're like, all right, let's go to the corner that's just fresher in the game, right? So you knew he was going to get targeted a lot today. And he had a couple penalties, had a couple good plays, right? It's just it was one of those days, I think, that we weren't hitting on all cylinders on the defense, and we really needed to rely on that offense to come up and make some plays for us today.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything that Knowshon just said. If I think about it from the offensive perspective, the entire playbook opens up if you see Pat Surtain go down. And you know what it reminds me of in a little bit of a different way is that when we were watching the Super Bowl and Dre Greenlaw gets hurt for San Francisco, Kansas City got new life. They're like, oh, they just lost one of their best players, somebody in the middle. Now they feel like they can attack something. Yeah. Only Fred Warner's the only guy out there in terms of how that camaraderie on their defense. So when I see a Pat Surtain go out on the offensive side, I'm like, oh, we're attacking the entire side of the field, and now their third corner is now their second best corner. We're attacking him all day. Yeah. And Tyke Tolbert used to talk about it all the time. Hey, this is the pick-on guy. Yeah. He's like, oh, this is the pick-on guy, and that's exactly what happened on third downs. They were going after our DBs, and they were just picking on them. So, man, Pat Surtain, he's that guy though.
He really is, and it's funny because we were watching it, and as soon as Pat goes down, like first thing, Knowshon was like, "Dang, I hope he's healthy." And then the next play, he's like, "Oh, they're about to take a shot." Like your immediate thought went back to like the offensive mind, like we got to take a shot at whoever just came in the game because that gives us another advantage. And when you talk about the best corner in the game, like that's a huge loss. And like you said, I think they attacked whether it was Levi Wallace or J-Mac, they were going after him, I feel like, the entire game.
And you're losing a leader on that side, right? Who else is that person to step up in that leadership role after Surtain goes down, right?
Definitely.
That's kind of tough. That's like one of those guys you look up to, you're like, damn, he went down, kind of brings your morale down a little bit.
How would you guys feel just on playing on incredible defenses and being out there in the league when you guys, if you guys, losing a player like that, how does it feel on the defensive side of the ball in terms of just the camaraderie and the communication and knowing, hey, well, he's over here, so we good. Like, how do you think about that as a signal caller, as a middle linebacker in defense? Jurrel, how do you think about it?
It's definitely tough. I think the play calling down changes. You start to hear your defensive coordinator back there starting to be a little bit more cautious with the play call, especially when you have a person who travels and play against that number one receiver, right? Those play calls start to change a little bit, and now they're playing more cautious ball.
They get nervous.
It starts to make you nervous. Be like,
what are you? We didn't even call this.
And it started throwing you all the way off because the game plan is fit for this particular player to be in the game.
Right.
And when he now have exited, it's like, dude. And he's a major piece at that. It's like, coach, what else can you draw up? Come on, come to the sideline. Give us something. But halftime, you're going back to week 1 play calls, and now everybody is in a frazzle across the board. So it's definitely one of those tough situations where you're like, not the top guy, not the big dog, not at all. So.
It changes the dynamic, man. Like you talk about leadership. Alex Singleton was a captain. You know, he's out towards the ACL against the Bucks, so we already lost him. Second captain on defense, Pat Surtain. Now he's out. Like I think they are looking around like
who's gonna lead us?
Who's the leader now? You know what I'm saying? I think it's always tough because they have veterans up front, but like in the middle and the back of the defense, I think they're just a little bit younger than the guys that were in those spots before. So it's a different dynamic to the game once you start losing big name players. Let's get into the second half of this game because the second half definitely opened up. And my question is, why can't we do this the first half? Like, what is the problem?
We need to go into 2-minute offense. That's what we need to do.
Just run 2-minute offense
right
the
away.
entire game. Because it just felt like we had life. There was energy. Bo had a swagger to him. He was finding people across the middle. He was finding people deep. And it didn't feel like we were on the struggle bus. The entire first half, it felt like we were like struggling to get 10 yards. And then the second half, really the fourth quarter, it felt like they were able to just go out there and find yards as freely as they wanted to.
Well, the difference was receivers would start getting open.
Yeah.
They would start getting open. I would say that. The receivers start getting open. He started having targets.
Bo kept a lot of things open with his legs.
Yeah.
I do think what Knowshon said, it brings up a really good point, is sometimes when a quarterback and an offense is able to line up on the ball, the defense has to line up in what they're already supposed to be in. So there isn't much disguise. And that might help Bo out sometimes. I wouldn't say you can go 2-minute all the time, but sometimes just putting him in shotgun, which he's very familiar with at Oregon, and then letting him see the field might help him.
Yeah, I agree. And, for a defense, we only have about 2 or 3 plays. Like when y'all get in the hurry up, we only have so many checks, and they're like simple. We might got cover 4, cover 1,
and that's it.
And that's pretty much it.
That's it.
So as far as like Bo knowing what we're in, if they stay on the ball, I think 90% of the time he'll have a better understanding for what we're in, and he can attack it better than he has when they can really dial up defenses.
Yeah, but how do we got to make sure if we do that we got to get first downs because the defense was on the field all day today. So
time of possession was what? What was the time of possession today?
It was really bad. I think it was the first half was really bad.
It was 33 minutes Chargers and 18 minutes to the Broncos. Like
we got to stay on the field.
Time management, man. We got to get the heck off that field.
Yep.
And it's go to stopping them on the third downs, man. I think we got a lot of third down situations, and our defense just couldn't get off the field. And even for the offense, we couldn't convert. It was just, just beating ourselves. We first half, I think we punted the first 3 possessions we got the ball, we punted the ball away.
Interception,
and a turnover.
So
fumble, yeah.
You just got to do better with just holding on to the rock a little better. Even if we're not getting down there driving and getting points on the board right away, hold on to the football, right?
Yes, 100%.
Chunk up the clock. And so we're not doing that.
Yeah, I think, when you look at the time of possession, like you said, the Chargers had the ball for so long. In the first half, they had their first drive outside of the interception drive was 6 plays, 83 yards. The next play was 20 plays, 76 yards. And their next drive was 11 plays, 56 yards.
Crazy.
They're not getting off the field. They're converting every third down. And they're just taking time off the clock and marching down the field. When you're on defense, you're praying for third down. Like 10 plays in, I probably would have been like, hey,
what?
coach, you know what I'm saying? This is ridiculous. A 20-play drive, that's the longest drive.
Yeah, that's a long
I've seen.
drive. Yeah.
When you got to put more fault on them. No, that's not called a fault, but right? I mean, kind of fault.
I say
on the defensive offense, though.
I tip the cap because I think that's just if you can have a 20-play drive, that's complimentary football. They call Jim Harbaugh, he called really good plays today. Like,
great plays.
All these plays were off of one another. I mean, I'm
putting it on the offense, man. Because defense can't always play like they have been playing the last couple of weeks. I get it, right? They have been playing well. But sometimes you have these games. And we need to score, bro. We didn't score until the second half, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
ridiculous.
Like, come on. You got to put points on the board. I don't care if it's just field goals.
The reason I would say no is because I would say if Chargers went one-dimensional on us because we couldn't do something, and they were just pounding down our throat and they kept a balanced offense over there. Our offensive scheme had no effect on what they was doing to us on defense. Yeah, they kept their offense pretty balanced. Mm-hmm. Somebody on defense had to try to step up and make a play.
Yeah.
No one, after Pat went down, I feel like no one stepped up to make a big play.
Yeah.
And yeah, today was one of those days where it's off. We get that. But, dude, you are one of the top 5 defenses in the league right now. You got to play top 5 defense, and we just didn't do that today.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all putting a lot of pressure on this defense.
Yeah,
It's all defense,
I think there's
man.
certain jobs where you can't have a bad day.
And this is
like,
one
Not when you have an offense like that.
The
no.
pilot of my plane, you cannot have a bad day. No matter how many times you fly, you cannot have, and that's just where we are with this defense. Like the doctor in charge of my life, like you can't have a bad day.
Right.
And I feel like that's the way the defense is right now. Like
I'm okay. I'm
20,
okay with
23 points is 23
It's not
points
that
is
bad.
not good, but it's not that bad.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not horrible.
No.
But you can't. That's too much. That's too much. I think you got to hold teams under 18 if we want to be
That's
competitive.
not realistic,
which
I
sucks.
feel like, though, man.
I played
It was a
three
goal.
out of my 4 years here. I played with defenses like that, so I know it's realistic.
Yeah.
3 out of my 4
Yeah,
years.
but you said it a couple years ago, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
this is
What year
right
are you
now.
saying you didn't play with defense like that?
Huh? you said what year?
Yeah, you didn't play with defenses like that.
I would say my rookie year, our rookie year.
Okay.
I would say our defense was good, but like we gave up big plays on third down, and then
Uh-huh.
the 3 straight years after that, we were winning the games based off defense. I mean, you guys were scoring almost like every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
The defense was going to score, so I would say that year.
Okay. That was a little before I got there. I
You
just,
got there mid-year. You got there mid-year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's throwing under the bus. Y'all was
No,
they were still
it's
nice.
true.
Gotta
That's
get
it.
more out
That's
of the
speaking
offense.
true.
I don't care, bro.
Yeah, you're
You
right.
gotta get more
You're right.
out of the offense.
You're
man.
100% right.
Okay, so let's talk about the second half. Let's talk about when they did do good. So Bo had 22 yards in the first half. Second half, he ends the game with 206 yards. Touchdown to Cortland. Touchdown to 16. Like, what's different? We talked about it being in 2-minute mode, but I need that more often.
I guess the only thing I can think of, this is the only thing I really can think of, is that they were playing a little softer coverage. You know what I mean? Just kind of keeping that clock going. And then definitely towards the end, they're playing sideline. That's why a lot of those middle throws were there, just to kind of keep that clock rolling.
So we
not
weren't
letting them get out of bounds.
weren't any better. They
That's-
just got softer.
That's the only thing, because it was too late. It was too late in the game for me to say, okay, now they're down this thing up. Where was it in the third?
Yeah,
Okay.
it wasn't in third.
It was late in the fourth quarter where now you start to see it when they're saying, okay, we're up 20-something.
We're gonna play top
We're gonna
down.
play, we're gonna back up. No one over the top. Keep it all in front of us, and let's play defense tackle, and let's get out of here, bro. Let's get the win and get out of
This is
here.
where you got to pick up your yardage game, basically. Yeah. I
That's
give
the
you that.
only thing I can think about.
It was slap yardage. It was like, we're gonna let you do what we're gonna do, run some of this time out. We don't believe you can come back in the end of the game and drive down on us type
I
situation.
don't know.
As
think-
offensive players, do you feel good about, like, do you feel good after that in the game? Like, do you feel like that's something you can build on? Or do you know, like, man, that was trash yardage?
I think towards the end of that game, at the way I'm thinking about it is, you know, if you're getting catches in the fourth, you're like, oh, I'm just thinking about my personal stats. I'm not actually because you know that they're playing soft.
For
You're like,
real.
all right, like, I'm about to get a couple catches. You know, I'm gonna give me a touchdown here. This goes towards the stats. You know, this is something I can use in negotiations. I'm thinking about something like that. But when it comes to what I will say is what is positive about Bo and his quarterback play is that he is able to keep plays alive with his legs. I think that's a super positive. Now they got to work on scramble drill, and he has to work on that. He's got to work on looking downfield as he's scrambling. And then I would love for him to stop scrambling to the opposite sides. I would love to see him roll out to the right.
Yeah.
He's rolling out to the left and
Every
trying to
time.
throw
Throw it back the other way.
to the back to the middle of the field. Like, no, roll out to your strong side. But I will say him keeping plays alive and the fact that he can run is a positive. Now he's got to learn how to do that better and look downfield.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I did feel like watching the game. There was a couple times where I wanted him to scramble that he didn't, and there was a couple times I felt like he should have sat in the pocket and he scrambled. But it's like that's the toss-up. You never really know like exactly what you're going to get when you start your scramble. But like you said, I think he's always going the opposite way of where his receivers are, and I don't always feel like he makes the most efficient route to get out of the pocket.
Yeah.
Like sometimes he does a lot of back and forth before he just kind of rolls out and is able to look downfield and find somebody. But let's go to a play where he did find somebody downfield, and we're going to talk about the live extraordinary moment of the game presented to you by UCHealth. You can head to uchealth.org/tomorrow and take care of your mental health today so you can have a better tomorrow. This was a touchdown pass to Cortland Sutton. They reviewed it for quite a bit of the time, but I thought it was a great pass to Cortland. And also it was great because our pregame picks was an anytime touchdown to Cortland Sutton and an anytime touchdown Bo Nix. So if you took those and you parlayed them, Probably
Got
made you sell about
money.
$600. If you just want to mail me 500 of that, you know what I'm saying? You guys have my address here at the DNVR bar. But just let me know. But I think that was the best, one of the better throws I think from Bo today. And it actually, you just need to give Cortland a chance. And I feel like that's what they're missing from this offense is.
I don't know.
You talk
that wasn't
about
the
tough.
best throw today.
What do you think the best throw was?
He had another one that was decent. And I was like, okay, he threw that in there. I think that one was just Cortland making a play.
Yeah.
And no one else is making that play on that field today.
And that's what I was about to say. That's talking about tough catches.
That was
and
a tough catch. That's a
making-
great catch.
That
Yeah.
was one of
That's a great
those
catch.
right there. Phenomenal.
Yeah, phenomenal
Just
catch.
Body control. Like you say, that delayed reaction of letting you lag, then push on off you and get that. Cortland does a great job of it. And Bo put that ball where only he can go and get that.
Yep,
And that was phenomenal ball placement for sure by Bo.
And that's why I feel like it was a great throw because, like, you can only deal with Cortland. I don't know if you can just put that ball there with anybody else. And I think
No one else on this team.
giving Cortland a chance, I think it works out most of the time. I think you saw Russell Wilson all last year. All he did was when he was under stress, I'm gonna give Cortland a chance, and Cortland would come up with it and make some pretty big plays. So for me, I've always felt like Cortland could be a top 10 wide receiver if he has the opportunity. I don't know if I'm the only one who feels that way, but I've always felt like he needs more opportunity. He's played with
You
a
said
lot
top
of
tier?
quarterbacks.
Top tier or top 10?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Top 10.
Yeah.
You know, they
So we're talking about the Justin Jeffersons, the
Yeah.
Tyreek Hills. We were talking
No,
about
that's top
Devontae
3.
Adams.
That you're talking about top 3.
Oh, that's
I'm
top
saying
5?
top 10.
Top 10. I mean, that's right there.
You don't think
There's
Cortland's
10
one of your
of
top
them.
10?
Amon-Ra, St. Brown.
There's 10 of them.
That's right 4.
That's 4.
I mean, it's right 4. I mean,
yeah,
there's-
we're at 4.
There's a couple others out there, right? I mean,
Uh,
yeah, you know,
top 10?
They like
We're
to go
at
overboard
4.
a little bit.
You got to keep going.
10 just
Y'all
sounds high.
just
I mean,
said,
we
nah,
stopped at
like
4
y'all had
right now.
straight top 10 in y'all head. That
That's
was
what I'm
better
saying.
than
You
him.
haven't even
well,
gone
top,
5.
well,
All right, let me think about the team.
the reason why
Go ahead.
the reason why I say I hesitate at the top 10 is not because he doesn't have the talent, but those guys who I just named, or if I have to think about the other 5, the quarterback play doesn't really matter.
I think it does though.
Not really.
I think with most
Justin
of them,
Jefferson.
I think
he's-
you have a top 3 or 4 where quarterback play doesn't matter. I think everybody else quarterback plays matter.
DT had 1,000-yard with Simeon. He had I mean, come on, bro. Who
No,
we talking about?
I'm not discrediting what DT has done, but I'm saying right now in the league, and even Hall of Fame, every Hall of Fame receiver, most of them have had Hall of Fame quarterbacks. It's very rare that you have a receiver who has not had a great quarterback to be successful. And I think if Cortland doesn't have 17 quarterbacks in his 6 years, I think he has more. He's top 10.
Top 10 people are the yards after catch is a huge thing.
For sure.
They make
That's
plays.
true.
I
For
mean,
sure. That is true.
they take top 10 receivers take 5-yard passes and take them 80 yards.
For sure.
That's true.
So
That's true.
I'm not saying I just don't know top 10. That's super dynamic playmaker.
So
He's
he
got
was second in the league in touchdowns last year, right?
he only had 700 yards.
I understand that, but how many? But as far as his attempts or his targets compared to other teams, he's getting targets like he's a second tier. We don't, you know what I'm saying? Where he's getting targets like he's the second man on a roster. Like there's a number 1 in front of him. He's not even getting number 1 targets. So to have 10 touchdowns and 700 yards and not getting the targets that you need to, I feel like it's more of a testament to, okay, if he was getting more, I think he could do more. Not that if he was getting more, he would do less or the same.
But is that really his skill set? I played in this offense, and
Yep.
Michael Thomas had 169 catches at the X, which is what Cortland's playing in this offense.
And how many targets did he have? Cortland had let's see how many-
Tremendous amount, but I'm saying
Yes.
Sean calls plays based off of
Who he
what
likes.
routes, what routes you run really well.
All right,
I don't think he doesn't like Cortland. He needs
No, I don't think
Cortland,
he doesn't like
or he's
Cortland.
gonna be unemployed in a couple.
let's
I mean, y'all be reaching a
let's
little
pull
bit.
it up.
10 is
Let's
top.
pull it up.
10 is true.
I'm just saying we stopped at 4. I'm just saying
Oh, Metcalf is up there, right?
Metcalf, that's
yeah.
an elite receiver.
for sure.
Chase,
John,
we
I
didn't
didn't
say
say Jamar
Chase.
Chase.
Yes.
How many
We're at
times?
six.
So I would still you got Ridley, Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley's elite.
Kevin Ridley's nice. He's nice.
Hopkins, Keenan Allen. Nah, not anymore.
yeah,
Nah, used to
no.
be who he used to when he was playing for the Chargers for sure. Not
Yeah.
anymore.
You find it?
He had 4 for 53. He had 6 targets today. That's not even. You get 6 targets as the number 2 guy. Maybe if you're
I think
If
he
you're
would
an
have more
elite
targets if we
quarterback-
were on the field more. He
if
would
you
have
were
more targets.
elite quarterback, your third guy is getting 6 targets.
No chance.
If you're elite, how many targets you get in a game? What's the most targets you got in a game?
With Payton,
Yes.
4.
And who'd you play with?
I'll play with What, my quarterbacks here?
No, your wide
Who's your
receivers.
receivers?
Demarius, Emmanuel, Owen Daniels, and we were splitting time, so it was like we did the third receiver by committee. So it was Bubba Caldwell, Cody Latimer, and Jordan Norwood.
So I've heard.
So you want
there was dogs, and I'm saying with dogs, you got 4 receptions.
So you're saying you want to just throw it out to him?
No, I'm not just saying every play. I'm just saying if he had more opportunities, more than 4, I think he should get 8 to 10 a game.
What if they
I think for sure he should always have double-digit targets.
For sure,
I can see
without a
that.
doubt.
Yeah. If they could do better
So
with that.
that's what they say is the top receivers right
Let
there.
me see.
They got
Yeah, I
Jeff
forgot about
Richards.
CD. I forgot about
They got
CD.
Jeff. They got
St.
who
Brown.
got?
Forgot about St.
Chase.
Brown. Forgot about Neighbors.
CD.
Neighbors is good.
Neighbors is a rookie.
Who cares? He's balling out this
Neighbors
year.
is going. He's going nuts though.
Garrett Wilson is trash. He ain't done nothing in the last
I don't know
5
about Garrett.
games.
AJ.
Quarterback play.
Quarterback play. Garrett Wilson had a ton of quarterbacks in New York and was putting up 1,000 yards.
Yes.
And he's just saying that his targets are probably in the double
Astronomical.
digits every game now.
Hey,
And I can understand it, but what if he ain't getting open? I wish they could do better with the broadcast and zoom out so we can see everything.
Somebody please get Knowshon a
Okay.
zoomed out version of this.
Zoom out so we can
You
see
might
the
have a heart
routes.
attack.
Because maybe he's just not open, and then Bo, he gets jittered in the pocket, and then he's just scrambling, and it's all over.
I want to make it clear that I think Cortland Sutton is a great receiver.
Yes.
But top 10, I mean, we're talking about an elite class of guys where, they taking tunnel screens to the crib. You play with DT was top 10 when you were playing with him. Yeah. And it didn't matter what the coverage was.
While
And
we're
it
just-
didn't matter if we would play with games with Demarius, bro, where he would only have 5 targets.
Yep. Well, while we're discussing whether Cortland Sutton is top 10 or not, if you want to be top 10, you got to check out our friends over at Blue Chew. Blue Chew is a tablet, and it helps you be stronger, and you have longer lasting effects when you're in the bedroom. So if you want to be top 10, you got to check out our friends over at Blue Chew. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost and in a chewable form. The process is simple. Sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. You can go check out our friends at Blue Chew if you want to be top 10 to your lady or whoever's in your life. You go to bluechew.com. You can use promo code ALLCITY to receive your first month free. Visit Blue Chew for more details and important safety information. And we thank the Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
Yes, sir. I love it. I love it. Did you talk about snacks? You didn't say nothing about snacks, but shoot. I have my friends over there at Circle K. Circle K. I go over to Circle K, get my snacks, get some Skittles, get some popcorn, maybe a slushie.
Mm-hmm.
Peanut M&Ms. Get those peanut M&Ms.
Peanut M&Ms go hard. All right, well, we partner with Circle K. They have signed up for Circle K program. Feel free. Circle K is proud to be along the ride on our Buff Stampede. All right, free membership, easy to download. It's real easy. Enter your email, your phone number to be fully enrolled. After that, all you need is your phone number to get the deals, man. It's real easy, right? They have deals every day on food, drinks, and more. You can sign up with Circle K, the app, and you'll receive $25 on gas on your next 5 fill-ups. You know what I'm saying? You got to get that gas going real nice, smooth like. All right, now, so don't forget, it's real easy. Download the app with Circle K for incredible exclusive offers, new offers weekly, and go ahead and go in there and get your snacks. We love our friends over there at Circle K.
So I want to keep talking about this top 10 conversation, and we
didn't
can move
mention
on.
CeeDee
We can
Lamb
move
either.
on. We can move on from Cortland. We can talk about other players. As I look at this team, and if we're gonna say, okay, Cortland's not top 10, and we have to look at the rest of the offense, and if we can't find a top 10 player on this offense, why do we have hopes of being anything or expectations for a successful season if we don't have a single player on our offense that we would consider top 10 in the NFL? I don't know how we are successful like that. So is there anybody on this offense that you would consider top 10 or elite at their position?
No, I don't think we have anybody that's elite at their respective skill positions, I would say, just based off of what I've seen from the skill. But this is where Sean Payton has to step up. Mm-hmm. This is where Sean Payton has to step up with his creativity. I think Cortland is a damn good receiver, and I think he is a top tier. I think he is a receiver 1 for sure. Top 10 is a different conversation, but who said he's not top 20? But I do think now Sean has to get creative and find ways to get him the ball. You find ways to get Robert Meacham the ball, who was an undrafted player, Lance Moore the ball. Michael Thomas set the receptions record in this offense. You got to find a way to get Cortland the ball so we can see these skills. And then I want to see more dynamic plays with Mims and Franklin. They have all this speed. I want to see that. Where was Jordan Humphrey today? Why was Lil Jordan not out there today? I did not see him with a lot of snaps. Yeah. I haven't seen anything out of our tight ends. Where is the misdirection? Where is the Kyle Shanahan, Andy Reid type of let me set these people up and make these types of big plays? This is what Sean is here for. You're paying him $20 million a year. I want to see the creativity on offense. So, I mean, that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. Like, I mean, I threw a lot of stuff in terms of Cortland and Bo's way, but like Sean, at the end of the day, make it easy for the guys.
I agree. I mean, I don't want to give the Chargers any credit, but there was a couple times we were watching the game, like, why don't we have plays installed like this? A couple misdirection plays that had guys wide open that I feel like would have really helped Bo and, help him settle down when you have somebody wide open in the flat because you're running a bootleg with the tight end running, the only person coming across the formation, so he's wide open. Like, I don't know if we have dynamic plays, and I feel like we need that, especially for a rookie.
Do you think we don't have them, or do you think we haven't been able to get to those type of plays because we haven't been able to get into a rhythm? Or do these guys not understand the concepts, right? So I want to know what that will be as a Sean Payton, why he's not calling them up. I feel like he did a lot of stuff over there, especially with Tyson Hill and all them, drawing things up for them, running dynamic run plays for them, getting those guys really going downhill, pounding the ball. I wonder, you don't see that. You see him going into basic offensive play call right now, and I wonder, well, what is it that he's not digging into his playbook bag?
I'd be curious to know what he's actually thinking in terms of how he's trying to set things up. I think everything was very vanilla today. Everything was super vanilla in terms of how he was calling plays. I do know that Sean does like to set things up playing in this offense in 2020. I know his offenses do get off to slow starts and then they pick up later on in the season, but this isn't making any sense to me. Like you said, there should be some easy throws out there.
Yeah.
And I think, sometimes there is a little bit of a rut in terms of his play calling, but also I think he does dial up some things. He's a big screen guy, and we have been dropping screen passes.
Yeah.
So that's how he gets his yardage. If you think about an Alvin Kamara, you think about the Mark Ingrams and who play in his offense, they're big screen misdirection, but we dropped the screen. Javonte Williams, that would have been at least 20 yards on that. Yeah. So, we got to make the plays when they are called, but he still got to, try to find some easy layups for my man.
For sure. That was, you talk about screens last week, the longest play that Bo had was a 26-yard screen to Javonte. So I definitely agree that, you got to catch every ball that's thrown to you. And I know I didn't play wide receiver for long, but I know the rules are if it hits your hands, you got to catch it.
Yes,
you got to catch it. And
absolutely.
I feel like that definitely hit his hands. But yeah, I feel like, you brought up Andy Reid a little bit. Playing against the Chiefs, it felt like every time they hand off the ball or threw the ball, they were trying to score a touchdown. Like everything you had so much to prepare for because they were going for it all every single play. And now it feels like we're doing so much setting up that it's like we're not starting anything.
Yeah.
And there's no excuses, bro. Herbert lost his first and his second starting receivers in the game. They were still dialing them things up. He was still putting them things in there. So I think really it does go back to the play call on Sean Payton, man. Even if you don't think Sean Payton doesn't think that he has the players to run some of those plays, you still got to run them. You know what I mean?
Everybody, we in the NFL. So these guys are talented. Everybody can play. How are you going to set these guys up? And this is what, Sean is, hung his hat on.
Yeah.
Is, Lance Moore, Robert Meacham, those guys are undrafted players. They weren't drafted. And a Taysom Hill, you made those guys players. So I want to see you make these guys players.
Definitely. And it was a bummer to see that happen this week because I was excited for it last week. How he dialed up those plays. He dialed up a lot of screens, a lot of hitch routes. Let those guys get open, let them go and do what they had to do. And this week, I feel like he didn't dial that up at all. Like I said, I don't know if it was just they wasn't getting into the groove or the rhythm of it. But I feel like Sean just has not at all opened up this playbook this season, not one bit. And he's not going to, it seemed like, no time soon. Because he haven't given us a sprinkle of it or anything, I feel like. Like you just hold on to it for some reason.
Right. And you got to take advantage of these kind of games, these opportunities. I think this was a great opportunity for this Bronco team to kind of take a step in that division, take a step as a team, go on a 4-game winning streak, which would have been huge for the Broncos, right?
Huge.
And then go into a short week, and then you play a Saints team that don't have their starting quarterback, right? So you're almost looking into that game like, yo, we can get this one too, right?
Right.
So to take this quick little fall, this hiccup, man, definitely hurts us, but it is a short week, get your body back right, and that's what's kind of fortunate about the short week. You can kind of get back to the game right away.
Do you guys think Sean was thinking a week ahead? And you think that he was basically thinking about going back to New Orleans and dialing up plays down there, thought he was going to get a win here at home and then go to New Orleans and try to put on a show on Thursday night?
That's possible. Especially with these flashy little unis they coming out in. I just bring back to the unis. Those unis are cold. Unis are cold.
I think it's interesting. I know Sean's going to be ready for that game next week.
He gonna be turned all
He's going to be
week.
turned.
All
and he's
week.
going to feel good. But before we get into that, we got to talk to our guy, Zach, who's down at the studio right now.
Oh, yes, sir. Zach. Where
Zach
you at?
coming
Get him in
live.
here. We got
What's
to
up,
see
there
Zach.
you
He
go.
got the zip. He zipped up, baby, right now. He always zipped, man. I love it.
Always coming Payton Manning fresh. Zach, how are things down at the stadium? I know they never want to lose. I know it's not club dub, but how's the energy in the locker room right now?
Well, I got to tell you guys, it's not as good as the energy in the Toyota Lounge that you guys are bringing right now, but it's not as bad as Broncos Country's feeling. I know Broncos Country is disgusted by another 0-point first half, but inside the Broncos locker room, they're keeping the faith. They know they're 3-3. They know they've got a game on Thursday night. So they're honestly, as John Franklin Myers put it, they're ready to flush this one away and then get on to Thursday night. And that's what you have to do, because this game was another stinker from the Broncos, and honestly the worst game that the Broncos defense has had this year. First half giving up 20 points. They allowed they allowed the Chargers to score on all 4 first half possessions. It was totally different, and it all started when Pat Surtain went down. Bo Nix throws an interception on the first drive, then Pat Surtain goes down on the next drive, and I was actually surprised. The locker room really put a lot of this on Pat going down. Not on Pat actually going down, but they said the defense, there was a cloud hanging over their head after Pat went down. They regrouped at halftime, and then we saw the normal Broncos defense in the second half, only giving up 3 points. And guys, honestly, the Broncos did make a comeback, but Sean Payton almost said it. It's a pretty empty comeback for the Broncos, because we saw what the Chargers did. They just played prevent defense, keep everything in front of them. And so the Broncos were able to move the ball down the field, but really it was too little, too late. And it's just about moving on from this game and starting on New Orleans tomorrow.
Zach, real quick, do you have an update on Pat? Do we know how he's feeling, how he's doing? Is he healing up?
So good news and bad news. I just saw Pat on the field after the game, and he's doing okay, which is good to see him out here talking with his family members. So he's not doing as bad as he could, but unfortunately he is in the concussion protocol, and I'm pretty sure that means he will not be able to play on Thursday night. I think it's impossible for a player to get through the concussion protocol by a Thursday game. I think the most he could do is practice on Thursday. So unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see him. But I think there's also a chance that Chris Olave, the Saints' top receiver, does not play on Thursday as well. So that will kind of help even it out. But the Broncos, they're going to really be stepping and counting on Riley Moss to step up to be that top cornerback from the Broncos. Levi Wallace coming in. We also saw the Broncos use Jaquan McMillan, put him on outside cornerback. But the huge loss for the Broncos. And you could tell, being in the locker room, it impacted this team in the first half, not just on defense, but on the offensive side as well. So the Broncos are going to need Pat back as soon as possible. Again, the good news is you're playing Spencer Rattler, a third-string quarterback this Thursday without Chris Olave. And then the following week, Pat should be back, but you're playing the Carolina Panthers, who are absolute trash. So Broncos lose this one, but they have 2 very, very winnable games coming up.
Awesome. I think that's big. Definitely. We're going to need those wins, Zach, so let's hope that they trash, right? Definitely.
Yes.
But Zach, one question I have.
I
was wondering how big of a turnover in the morale was over there when Javonte dropped that fumble. I feel like, that was a big momentum shift in the game. And how you think everything over there was going down?
Yeah, without a doubt, Jurrel. I mean, obviously, the rookie quarterback is going to have some mistakes occasionally. He hasn't had an interception in the past 3 games. He comes out the very first drive, throws that pick, and it's like, okay, not an ideal start, but we're going to move on. Defense holds him to 3 points, which was key. But then when Javonte has the fumble later in the first half, it's like, man, 2 turnovers to none right now. And it just felt like that was honestly the turning point in the game after Pat went out. And Javonte can't be doing that. And I thought Sean Payton made a very clear message after the game. He was asked about all of these young guys playing. Yeah, Troy Franklin catch a touchdown pass. Devon Bailey led the Broncos in receiving. Audric Estime had 2 carries. But after Javonte's fumble, Sean told us after the game, we're not redshirting any of these guys. And then he pinpointed one guy that he wants to see more out of. He said, I want more Estime. And I'm sitting there thinking, you make those decisions, Sean. You only gave him the ball twice. You need to get him more touches. And so I think on Thursday night, we're going to see Audric Estime get more touches. He just can't fumble because remember, his very first fumble, he leaped over a guy and then immediately fumbled. So he can't be doing that, but I do expect him to get more carries and be a bigger part of this offense. The Broncos running backs had 44 rushing yards. Now, I know they kind of had to abandon the running game, but you still cannot have your 3 running backs get 44 total rushing yards in a game. And again, they had to abandon it, but you only run the ball 3 times in the second half. Geez, if you were going to tell me that before this game, I would say, heck yeah, the Broncos are going to lose this game.
Definitely.
Zach, great to see you, my man. I'm wondering, what's the vibe like from the offensive lineman? Because we talk about the running game, and you're thinking about the running game, you're thinking about the pass game. What is the vibe, or what are you hearing from the offensive line in terms of how they perform today?
Well, they said it's all on the wide receivers. No, I'm kidding, Benny. They didn't say that. They said it's all on us. In fact, talked to John Franklin Myers after the game, defensive lineman. He said, we lost the game for the Broncos. We need to be better as a defensive line. And then the offensive line talked to Quinn Miners after the game, and he said the exact same thing about the offensive line. He said, we lost this game for the team. We need to step up. Bo Nix was sacked once, but guys, Bo Nix is holding on to the ball for way too long. And it's not all on Bo Nix, but that was one of the things that Bo was supposed to be great at, is getting the ball out quick. Well, he held on to the ball. It made the offensive line not look very good. And then also the receivers need to get open to help Bo out. And when there is a guy open, Bo needs to pull the trigger right away and throw that ball, because we saw him turn the back to the end zone way too many times today. He was looking the wrong direction, and that doesn't help the offensive line either. But like you said, Benny, it's not just on the running backs when they have 44 total rushing yards. It is the offensive line in total. And I'll tell you what, Sean Payton took a lot of blame on himself. He said, all of this starts with me. We need to look internally as well. And yeah, you better damn do that, because this is the 3rd game in 6 games. The Broncos have had 0 points in the first half. That's something that should happen like once every couple of seasons. The fact that with Sean Payton, who is an offensive genius, has had this happen in half of his games is completely unacceptable. And honestly, just that stat alone, it's lucky that the Broncos are 3-3 right now, but they are still in a good spot. They're 3-1 in their past 4 games. And again, guys, you got to beat the Saints playing Spencer Rattler this week. You got to beat the Panthers in 2 weeks in Denver, because the Saints just allowed, 51 points? Are you kidding me? The Broncos cannot get shut out in the first half this Thursday night. They can't. Okay, they can't, but they shouldn't.
Yeah, Zach, I really hope that the Broncos find a way to put up 51 points. I don't know if it's possible, but 15 in the first half I feel like would be good for me. But appreciate you, Zach. We'll let this one kind of go because, like you said, we want to rinse and get on to Thursday night. So I'll see you tomorrow in the morning. We'll have a lot to talk about, and hopefully we can move on to a win against the Saints.
Let's get it.
Right
Zach,
on,
great
fellas.
to see you, man.
Thanks for having me on. You guys are killing it. Best post-game show out there.
Much love. All right, before we head out, let me tell you about 2 of our friends. First of all, I want to tell you about our friends over at Bet365. You can go ahead to Bet365 now, and right now you can get 2 options. New customers can choose between 2 offers. When they open an account at Bet365, you can use code DNVR365 to sign up, deposit $10, and choose between either the bet and get offer and place a bet of $5 or more and get $200 in bonus bets, or you get the first bet safety net offer by placing a bet of up to $1,000. And if your qualifying bet loses, receive the match refund and bonus bets. And I feel like that's great. I mean, if you would have put $1,000 on the parlay we put together today, it wouldn't have hit. You know what I'm saying? But you would have had that safety bet. You would have been able to get your money back and then use it again on another bet. And hopefully it's this week against the Saints, because it does seem like that'll be more promising. So whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. I also have to tell you guys about Coors Light. Coors Light is the beer that is made to chill. If you guys need to relax a little bit, take a deep breath. The Broncos had me stressed the entire first half, so I did get a Coors Light or two, and the mountains were blue. What'd you say you hear when it's blue? That's how you know it's ready for the crew. There you go. You can go to Coors Light right now and get yourself some beer. You can make out the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. And that's for people 21 and older, okay, guys? Don't be on your parents' Instacart trying to don't do that. You know what I'm saying? This is 21 and older. You got to celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company in Golden, Colorado. Now, before we head out of here, do you guys have any final thoughts about this game? What do we do to head into New Orleans going strong? Can we look forward to a win against New Orleans?
I think so. I think we can look forward to that. I wouldn't take this team lightly. As we know in the NFL, anything can happen.
Yep.
And trust me, New Orleans is going to want to stick it to Sean Payton
for sure,
just as bad. So they're not going to feel like Sean coming here and like they're just going to bow down to him just because he brought them a Super Bowl. So I think we go in there, defense steps up. They know that Pat will not be playing. They will be a sound defensive unit. I think Vance will make the adjustments in terms of how they will cover the Saints. But Sean does know and did draft some of those players. He knows what they do well. We do got to watch out. Number one for sure is Alvin Kamara.
Still a dog.
Because he can still play. He's one of the best backs, one of the best players I've played with. But I think Sean will dial some things up. I think he will be creative. And we are playing on Thursday night in prime time. I think he will bring out some of those things that you were talking about. Some of those, some of those Sean Payton plays of why he became the head coach here. And Cortland over 100 yards.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
well, how many
still play?
How many targets?
Yeah, that's what he thought. He worried about the targets.
Give me 10 targets for Cortland. 100 yards.
100 yards.
I'm good with that. I'm good with
That's
that.
how it goes.
Yeah, going back to Kamara, Alvin Kamara can still play. I remember I was up there in Minnesota, and I was out because something was wrong with my back, pause. And I didn't play the game, but I proceeded to watch him have. That was a 5-touchdown game in Christmas, so he can still play.
Yeah, he can play.
Yeah, without a doubt. What about you?
I think it's going to be definitely a big game. I think this is going to be one of those games where the defense is going to turn it back on. I think this is one of those embarrassing type games where we come out like, dang, what the heck did we do wrong? How did we let them run the ball on us like this? How did we let them complete any pass that they wanted to throw? This is where your defense now say, hey, let's get back to the top 5 defense that we are. Let's go out here and show these guys that we can play. We got a banged up quarterback over there. Let's dial up this pressure.
Yep.
Let's hit them in the mouth early and come up with some big plays to help out our offense, who has been struggling for a little bit. And this is where Bo got to come in now and say, hey, let me organize and maintain this offense and dial in safe plays so our defense is not having a hard time, right? And I think he did a great job of that last week. I would love to see him go in here and do that, but with some flashy plays dialed up in between from Sean Payton to let these fast guys and let them turn the corner and get going. And once in a while hit these guys across the middle with some clean passes. But I think it's going to be big, and I think we're going to get the dub for sure.
Yeah, definitely take advantage of this opportunity. I could see this definitely being another close one. I mean, like you said, this is another rebound game for that defense. Defense going against a Spencer Rattler. Like, okay, you could put some pressure on this kid, make him make mistakes, and come up with some big turnovers, right, for our offense. But I can easily see this being another tight game where defense is doing their job like we expect them to, and they making those big stops. And then once again, offense on the other side maybe struggle a little bit. I could see that easily because, those guys on the other team get paid as well. 100%. And they see how this diverse offense is, right? So they're like, shoot, we don't want to be the team that they score 50 on. And they're just coming off a 50 piece. So they're going to be ready. Yeah. So I could easily see this being another tight game where we got to go out and make some plays on offense.
Yeah. I think we definitely have to make some plays on offense to win this next game, and any game we go to play from here on out. We can't have the same start that we had this game. But before we head out of here, let's hit these super chats. First, coming from Hold on, you here got to make it bigger on the screen because I, don't have 2020. From Cat Wise, Tim Patrick had 3 catches for 68 yards today. I know. I mean, losing Tim, I feel like was a big piece to this offense. I think he's been playing great over there in Detroit. He looks healthy. He looks like the Tim Patrick we all loved while he was here. And it definitely sucks not having him on the team. But, we got who we got. We need our guys to step up. I think little Jordan Humphrey needs more opportunity. Every time I 100%. See him on the field, he's making plays.
Yeah, run after catch guy. He's the run after catch guy for this team, at least right now. So he's got to be out there. But shout out to Tim Patrick coming back from 2 years of being injured and playing on a winning team and making big plays on a winning team.
Shout out to Tim P. Next super chat coming in from Jordan. Defense improved after they got over the shock and VJ went back to man instead of zone. I trust them Thursday. PS2. Sit no matter what. Yeah, I think that's important, man. I think, you can't take concussions lightly. We've seen different players, whether it's Tua or other guys, try to come back from concussions too early, and that can continue to happen. So it's important to take care of your brain and your body. So we don't advise Pat to play in this game. Next super chat coming in from Nick Lauren. Bro refuses to stop fighting, and I respect that. I agree. He's a fighter. I think we saw that last week with his interaction with Sean. Maybe that's what it is. Him and Sean got to yell at each other more often for them to get up and running. You know what I'm saying? Like to start the game, they should just have
that argument right away.
F you.
I love you.
Because that's what they really said. Next super chat coming in from Jordan. We need to open the playbook. Let Nix play free. This team can't work if you try to protect Nix. Treat him like a pro, not a rookie. We've seen it.
I mean, the book might be open. It's just not creative. I mean, the book is probably open. I don't see why it wouldn't be.
That's easier said than done. I mean, it's a great point. Let them open the playbook, but yeah, like you said, it might be open. And you talked about it earlier. Bo might be actually rushing himself. He might just be dropping back, and now it's like, oh, let's run. He's not actually letting things progress. So maybe it is. Maybe the playbook is open, and Bo needs to sit in the pocket and deliver the throw.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of learning from Bo Nix, and I think he'll get better, but may take a little bit more time than we want. Next super chat
like 3
from
years,
Jordan.
4 years?
He'll get better. He'll get better over this year.
Jordan. Listen, this is for you. Fans need to stop expecting instant success.
Right.
Thank you.
Payton has already done a lot for this team. Future with him and Nix is very bright.
There we go. I love it. I mean, it takes a long.
So, what do we feel that Sean Payton have done a lot for this team so far? This is a great organization. Yeah. It's not like it's a trash organization now. So, what has Sean Payton done so far that has been so great?
Institutionalized the organization. You had a new ownership group come in who didn't know much about just the overall football and how to run a team. You had to fire Nathaniel Hackett because he didn't have that overall leadership and that presence. Sean Payton comes in, hey, this is how things are done in the NFL. I've been coaching in the NFL for a long time. So he's institutionalized the process. They will be better over the years because they won't be paying somebody that's actually not on their team. So it's going to take a couple years. It's no different in business. When you go buy a business, if you buy a business, it takes you 3 to 5 years to really turn it around and drive the revenue up. You just don't see people buy businesses. If we could look at Walmart as an example, they don't just buy companies and turn them around like that.
But yeah, when you have a dog though, when you don't keep a business that's failing for too long though. Once the business is not where it needs to be, you go ahead and remove that.
At this point, we did not have 3 wins last year, so we are on the up and up. It's only year 2.
4 wins in a row.
Hey,
4 wins in a row.
Yeah, we only year 2.
Yeah, well, when year 2 comes, I mean, for me, when it comes to Bo, I know
this year not even over yet.
I know he's going to make his mistakes. And he's going to play well. No, I know that. No. I know he's going to do his thing. He's going to have good games. He's going to have bad games. It's going to be an up and down thing. I get that. But next year is my last year. After next year, I mean, if it's still looking like this after next year, do y'all want to go for a 3rd and 4th? I don't. I'm just saying. Now, hopefully it doesn't.
I think it's a little too early to even think about the next 2-3 years.
Real business owners think about that.
You already have it mapped out.
Hey, you got to think about it.
I agree with you.
Like
Wait, so you're saying after next year, everything's got to be fixed. I'm with you. Yeah, because that'll be year 3. I want to see, we should be at least 9 wins at year 3, for sure.
I think that's fair. Next super chat coming in from David Radish. Elway made a deal with the devil to get Payton. The devil won't let us do well offensively until we have a Manning Arch 2026. But I don't know.
I like that, baby. I love all that.
So he's writing off Bo.
I don't want to write off, but I like the way that sounds. But I mean, would it be out of the? Nah, they couldn't do that. Never mind. They wouldn't do it. But, I mean, I would. But get a quarterback next year. Why not?
Whoa, this is early, man.
Well, let's
I'm just saying, let them
make sure we
compete.
pray to
I'm just
God
saying, let them
and
compete.
make sure that we get these Broncos going.
But
Wait, the
But I
Falcons
just-
just
but
did
we-
that.
but we-
And was that a bad move?
But the reason why the Falcons can do that, because Benny talked about, there's nobody on this roster who is quote unquote top 10 at that position.
Mm-hmm.
I think even if we have a quarterback, we still need other pieces.
Yeah.
So if we just went and got 2 quarterbacks that competing, even if one worked out to be good, we still have to have 3 or 4 more drafts plus 3 or 4 more free agencies to really accumulate the weapons we need to be successful.
Okay.
I think
probably
we're
why we
one
need a
draft and
quarterback.
one decent free agency away. I think people
We
underestimate.
would have to be a stellar free agency.
Yes, for sure,
Yeah.
in terms of putting the roster and pieces together. But people always underestimate, like, when Payton came here, this becomes a destination spot.
Yes.
Like, we're not in that position.
Yeah.
This is a destination spot when you play with Peyton Manning. You get in the Keith Talib, you get a TJ Ward, you get an Emmanuel Sanders. We're not a destination city
DeMarcus
right
Ware,
now.
that's all the same.
Yeah,
free agency.
like that's the same free agency class. But, like,
Everybody wanted to come here.
but you guaranteed 12 wins. So, like, we can't compare it to the Manning days or any of that. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody's out there and sees Bose as their future, you know what I'm saying? We're recruiting, so come
It
on
could
over.
happen. It
Come
could
play for the
happen.
Broncos.
We'll
We'll
see.
be here tomorrow, 11 a.m. We'll be here all week. Thursday, we'll have the pre- and post-game show again, so you don't want to miss it. It's going to be a great time. We'll see you guys. Much love.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.